I like unique and rare skins, but I'm also broke. Rare and cheap doesn't usually go hand in hand. So I put together a list of skins you don't see every day for under $1 each. Not all will be rare, but that's the trade-off you make when working with this budget. Almost all prices will be taken from the Steam market because that's where I buy my cheap skins. First up, my pick for the P250 is going to be the Vino Primo in well-worn condition, coming in at 95 cents. I never see this thing in game, and it looks great even in well-worn. Easy choice. Not too many good choices for the dual Berettas, but I chose the Dueling Dragons. It's not super rare, but it is cheap at only 25 cents for a field tested, and it looks great, so. The Glock was another easy choice. The High Beam is a pattern-based skin, and is only about 10 cents for a factory new, which leaves plenty of room to buy stickers. Underrated skin right here. The Tech 9 remote control is an easy recommend. It's pretty rare and is only about 98 cents for a well-worn. For something cheaper, the Sandstorm is a pattern-based skin, and there's actually a lot of really cool patterns. 38 cents for a field-tested Sandstorm, but I recommend going for the remote control. Definitely a unique skin. For the Deagle, I gotta shout out Sputnik here, but it's just over $1 for a field-tested. Otherwise, it's gotta be the Oxide Blaze. Not the most unique skin, but Deagle skins are naturally expensive, and I don't see this one super often. I recommend going for the factory new at about 61 cents, but you can get a field tested for half that amount. For the CZ Auto, it was another really easy choice. The minimal wear tuxedo is such a clean skin for only 83 cents. The price is slowly going up though, so if you're watching this way in the future, it might be more than $1. For the USPS, I like the check engine a lot and I never really see it in game. 82 cents for a minimal wear. Also, honorable mention to the Torque. I don't see this thing super often, and it's only 70 cents for a field tested. There's not really a whole lot of good picks for the 5.7, so I went with the Souvenir Factory New Coolant. I went with this because I think the colors are pretty nice, and the gold souvenir stickers look pretty good on it. 40 cents for one of those. That's all the pistols, let's move on to the heavies. The Nova is another hard one, mainly because of how many shitty skins it has. So I went with the Battle-Scarred Souvenir Walnut. The reason I went with this skin is because it's really old, so there's a lot of really cool major stickers on them. For example, I found this walnut at market price with PGL 2017 Krakow Golds on them. I tried not to include too many souvenir skins in this video, but it's a pretty cool hack for cheap skin collecting. If you're willing to wait, you can get the exact stickers you want and have a really cool skin. Maybe I can also make a guide for cheap skin collecting. The XM Hieroglyph is a skin I never see, and it looks pretty good. Only 20 cents for a factory new also. If you don't like the Hieroglyph, the Blue Spruce is a good alternative. It's pretty clean and also only 20 cents for a factory new. Both great options that I hardly ever see. The Sawed-Off Highwayman is an easy pick, only 65 cents for a well-worn and very rare in-game. The Brake Light is also a great pick for about 80 cents, but to be honest, there's a lot of really good cheap skins for the Sawed-Off, so I recommend you take a look for yourself. Alternatively, there are no good options for the Mag 7, so your best bet is either the Heat or the Swag 7. 60 cents for a field-tested Heat, and 40 cents for a Swag 7. For the M249, I like the Gator Mesh a lot. A Gator Mesh is the lowest float skin in the game, so I'm kinda biased. Anyways, it's 12 cents for a factory new. As for the Negev, I swear I only see power loaders, so I went with the Negev Dazzle. It's only 70 cents for a minimal wear, and it looks great in my opinion. And that's it for the heavies. Moving on to the SMGs. Also, I haven't done this yet, but it would be pretty cool of you to maybe like and subscribe. There's not many skins for the MP5 SD, but the liquidation is pretty cool. Not super unique, but I made this crafter that I think is pretty cool, so here it is. It's only 7 cents for a field tested and 3 cents for each of the stickers. I personally love the Gunsmoke, and I never see it in-game. At 20 cents for a factory new kinda seems like a steal to me. The PP Bison Brass is only 70 cents for a field tested, and it's pretty rare in-game, so easy pick. There's not many good cheap skins for the P90, so I'm gonna go with the Elite build. Not the most obscure P90 skin, but at only 26 cents for a field tested, it seems like a pretty good choice. For the MP9, I'm gonna go with the Deadly Poison. Once again, not many good cheap skins, so here's a kinda common one. 45 cents for a field tested, but still a decent choice I feel like. The Mac 10 is such an easy choice. The calf skin is a pretty good looking skin. The calf skin looks great and is only about 15 cents for a factory new. If you like the stickers though, you can go for a minimal wear at 75 cents. And that's all the SMGs. Moving on to the rifles. First up, we got the Scar. I chose the Grotto. It's alright. 40 cents for a minimal wear. It's fine. I can't really explain it, but the green apple looks really good on the SG1, and it's only 12 cents for a factory new. This is an easy recommend from me. For the Scout, I knew exactly which skin I wanted to choose, and it's the Handbrake. It's not super common, and it looks great. 52 cents for a field tested. Such an easy pickup. Next up is a skin I like a lot, which is going to be the SG Lush Ruins. It's pattern-based, and it looks really good if you ask me. I can't believe I never see this thing in-game, and it's only 75 cents for a field tested. I don't see the AUG Aristocrat super often. It's only 60 cents for a field tested. It looks pretty good, and it's ripe for the crafting, so. Not too many Galil ideal skins to choose from, so I'll choose a semi-common one. The Black Sand looks pretty good and it's cheap. 70 cent for a factory new, easy pickup if you ask me. Next up, we got the FAMAS, which is an easy choice. The neural net looks great and it's only 75 cent for a field tested. I recommend spending the extra $1.50 for a factory new one though, because it's definitely worth it. I've already talked about how much I love this skin though, so let's move on. Okay, for the rifles we have left, I'm going to give a $1 option, but I'm also going to give a $5 option, because these skins tend to be more expensive, and I want most of the skins in this video to look good, especially the one for the M4 AWP and AK. I sometimes see the M4A1 Nitro in-game, but not super often. It's really clean in field tested and only 60 cent. This is the perfect skin to craft on, so I recommend you get some stickers to slap onto it also. My recommendation for cheap crafts will always be major papers. Super cheap and a lot of them are really clean. And for the $5 skin, I'm going to be choosing the control panel in battle scarred condition. Before you yell at me, yes, this skin is just over $5, sitting at around $5.50 on the Steam community market. But if you're willing to wait for Skinport, you can get one for about $4.50. This thing looks great for the price, and is actually pretty uncommon. Definitely a good pickup if you're willing to spend a little bit extra. For the cheap M4A4 skin, I like the Converter Minimal Wear for 70 cents. There's a couple good options you could go for, but this is the only one I really don't see in game and that actually looks good. A couple of red stickers on this thing, and I think it doesn't look bad at all. For the $5 skin, there's tons of good options, but one stood out as both good looking and fairly uncommon. The Griffin at $1.90 is a pretty good looking skin, and I really don't see it anymore. I think that's just because of how many M4A4 skins there are and how old this one is. But yeah, good skin. For the AK, there's so few options, but I went with one I see fairly often, but you can make unique through stickers. The skin I chose is the AK-47 Uncharted. Coming in at about 30 cent for a field tested, this is a skin you're definitely gonna have to craft on to really make it yours though. The $5 AK skin was much harder to pick. I see most cheap AKs on a weekly basis, so it has to be a good pick. I have to go with the AK-47 safety net here though. Coming in at $3 for a field tested, it's pretty unique and pretty cheap. I see these every once in a while, but I definitely wouldn't call it common. I also recommend looking into the $5.10 minimal wear version for a much cleaner finish. When it comes to the rifles, your options are generally pretty limited when it comes to unique/uncommon skins, but I think the AK-47 safety net is a happy median. And last but not least is the AWP. For the under $1 skin, I went with the Pit Viper. I've always had a soft spot for this skin, not super uncommon, but some stickers could definitely make it yours. At 23 cent for a field tested, there's plenty of budget left for stickers. Last skin we have today is the $5 AWP, and I went with the Black Nile. Also not super uncommon, but I see way more Aetherus and Morrises than these. I run a Black Nile all the time. I personally think it's a really good skin. Another reason I chose this skin is because the color changes from black to copper as the wear value gets higher. A battle scarred copper one will run you about $2.5, and a minimal wear will run you $2.8. So just get whichever one you like more. Personally, I'm running a full black, but the copper is also really cool. And that's a skin for every gun in the game. Well, looks like you made it to the case opening. Let me know what you thought of this video, and I might do a part 2 with a slightly expanded budget. We are up to about $11.05 wasted on cases. That's enough to buy me this AK Nightwish. Don't open cases.